Perfect. All right. Well, welcome everybody. We thank you guys for coming today. We understand when you have a choice of 4 premier presentations that you chose ours. So we thank you so much for guys coming out today. So who are we? We're BCW. So we've been around for about 40 years. You probably know us best by our white boxes. If you've stored your cars somewhere before, it's probably in a BCW white box. So what we're going to talk about today is generally just the Spectrum line that we've launched and some of the products that are existing now that are coming out, some products we have in the future, and then we're also going to just talk about just general supplies for your store. My name is Andrew Phillips. I am the product manager for BCW. I've been with them for about 2.5 years now. Before that, I was a rep with GTS Distribution for about 5 years. So somebody in the room may have had me as a rep at one point. And I'm also a store owner. I own 2 stores in Atlanta, Georgia, Level Up Games. So I've been a store owner for 13 years, so I'm a retailer just like everybody else. So a lot of these products that we have here, I designed with stores in mind. I want us to make sure we're selling products, we're broadening a lot of different avenues. So Spectrum. Spectrum is our spectrum of gaming. We're trying to create a lot of products that cover more than just TCGs. TCGs are a great market. Obviously, it's huge, but there's a lot of expanding markets. Board games in the last 15 years have exploded. A lot of stores are just board game centric, but there's not a lot of great supplies for it. Generally, the only thing you find is sleeves, right? The ubiquitous sleeve, that's all you have. So for us, we're trying to create more products. We're also looking to expand into RPG accessories and eventually, hopefully, miniature storage as well. So our goal is to get to it where you can come to us or to your distributor of choice and pick out those products that you need for your store from one source rather than having to source it out through a couple dozen other entities. I know how tough it is. You have to jump through 10 hoops to get your store fully stocked. Hopefully going through one will make it a little bit easier. So we'll start off with our premier product for Spectrum. This is our Prism deck cases. Fantastic deck box, $9.99 retail. Comes in 8 colors. These have done extremely well. The professor on Tulare Community College has given these an A. Loves these things. He replaced a lot of his deck boxes with these. These are side-loading deck boxes. They do hold 100 double sleeve cards. No, they unfortunately don't hold 100 resealable double matte all foil decks because that's a crazy huge deck. But they do store 100 double sleeve cards quite easily. They come in 8 colors right now. We do have 3 new colors coming later this year. So we have a electric blue, a neon green or lime green, and a fuchsia. So these are great products. These are currently offered through us directly, as well as ACD, GTS, and PhD. We have their SKU codes down here. So if you deal with any of those distributors, one of those of choice, that's their SKU code to look it up. So these come in case counts of 24, although we give you guys a break at 12. If you buy 12 from us, you're basically getting a 52% discount on them. So that's our Prism deck cases. They've been a phenomenal product. Moving up, this is our first in our board game line selection. This is our bit box. These are some that you've got in front of you today. These come in little 4 counts. They're great for little games. Right here you'll see this is the Everdell stuff that for the resources there. Great to wrangle up stuff, cost efficient. They don't take up a lot of space on the shelf. Great to go with any of your board game sleeves. At my store, we've sold several hundred of these. People just love these things. It's easy. It's an easy add-on sale. They come in to buy sleeves. If they have a board game for Catan, Everdell, Root, whatever, you're like, hey, just pick up a couple packs of these. They're not that expensive. They're about the cost of a pack of sleeves nowadays. So pretty easy to sell on these. These do come in 60 count packs as a case, but the per display pack is 10. So we're also working on the display pack. If you've gotten any of these already, the next batch of them will have a tear off flap, so that way you can just have it set on the shelf, or you can peg hook them if you want to. So once again, most of all these products, when I design them, I'm trying to think about as a retailer, like how would I store these? How would I display these? So that's our bit boxes. The next up were the bit trays. These are also what you've got in front of you. They come in 2 different color selections. We have an all black selection and the assorted color selection. These are silicone trays. They have a foldable tab. They're wonderful. These have done extremely well. Our current MSRP is $27.99. That should be going down in the next few weeks. We had some price increases due to shipping and some other avenues, but we managed to curtail some of those, so that should go back down to a level that we think will sell really quick in the store. The package you have in front of you also is designed to stand upright on a shelf, or you can hang it on a shelf depending on how you want to display these things. So you can also, I made it so you could pop it open, take the trays out, let people touch them, feel them, show them off. That way you can help sell them a little bit faster. Cases of these are 10 packs per case, and we do have availability on these most distributors should have these, and we definitely have these in stock as well. Next up, we've just got this in today. This is our board game bag. So this is the next thing we're moving into as well. This is a board game bag. This one holds about 6 to 7 board games. It has some nice gusseted pockets on the sides and front that have also buttons to kind of keep the flaps down, but it holds quite a bit in the front. The nice feature about this one too is the zipper goes all the way down the back, so your whole flap just lays down, so you can pull all the games out much more easily. I know some other bags on the market have a harder time where if you've got all the board games in there, getting them out is sometimes a tug. So this is our new board game bag. It's got some nice rainbow stitching on it, D-rings. This will also double as our miniature bag in the future. We're hoping later this year we will also launch this with foam trays, pluck, and pre-cuts, and eventually also have a magnetic racking system for it as well. So this will kind of double down as both your board game bag and a miniature bag. Right now these will retail for $69.99. We expect to sell these. Delivery date's early September right now for these, so we'll expect them probably right after Gen Con. These will be able to launch then. So there's a great bag for that. They come in packs of 6, so pretty easy to order. Your distributors should be getting the information for those now, so you can put your pre-orders through them or ourselves. Either one will work. All right, next up, Playmatic cells. So right now we make monocolored playmats with stitched edging. We are expanding these to a larger size. So these will be 3 foot by 5 foot. So these will fit on the average kitchen table. So we've seen a good demand for people looking for table toppers or some kind of matting system that makes sense that they can get. As a retailer, it's tricky to find something that size. Either the cost is very expensive for these, or it's just hard to get a selection on them. So we're launching these about the same time, about August, September-ish. They're going to be $64.99. They will come in a big triangular packaging. We're going to have it extra reinforced so you could hang these or put them sideways or upright on a shelf. So they'll come in a cool triangular packaging. Right now it's just blue and red. We'll see how these do. Of course, if they're great and people really have a great reception of these, we'll expand the line with more colors like purple, black, all those other colors, whatever anybody really requests. So these will be out later this year. Great product there. Japanese small card deck cases. If you do a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Card Fight Vanguard, there's not a whole lot of deck boxes for you guys on the market right now. They're tough to get. Ultra Pro used to make some. They've discontinued them. It's difficult to get. These we made so you could fit a large number of cards in there, but it also comes with 2 dividers, especially for Yu-Gi-Oh! They usually have a side deck and an extra deck. That way you can have it for your Yu-Gi-Oh! Players to store their decks accordingly. These are fitted to that smaller size, so they're a little bit lower profile, slightly skinnier, obviously shorter, and they're not that thick. So these are great products, only $4. We offer them currently in black and white. So this is a good one if you are a small card shop. Card bins. These are huge. Can't talk about these enough. We launched these about 1.5 years ago. These are great, obviously, for TCGs, but we found in my store in particular, LCGs. If you've got Marvel Champions, if you've got Arkham Horror, if you're doing the new Lord of the Rings LCGs, phenomenal sales on these. We have, right now, I believe, crested 300 total units sold in my stores for this thing since we started carrying them, and this is fantastic. So if you think about that, I've sold $18,000 of these things just in my store, and they are phenomenal. So this is a great product if you're looking for it. It comes with 4 plastic dividers. The lids actually fold over and lock to keep your cards secure, so if you're in the car, hit the brakes too hard and it slides out of the seat, the lock should hold and keep your cards in place. They are stackable. And they come with 4 top loaders, so you can load the front of the bin to what game, or if you're doing mana specific for like Magic or Pokemon, energy types, stuff like that. It's really great. There is a separate pack you can get for the 12 count of dividers that are $10.99 for 12 count dividers to add more to it. These do fit magnetics. They do fit top loaders. Unfortunately, they're not tall enough to fit graded ones. We're discussing that idea to add graded card bin in the future. But right now, this is phenomenal if you've got collections with top loaders or magnetics. These have been on sale for about 1.5 years, and they come in all the time. So if you're looking for them, check with your distributor or check with us.
Are they coming back in stock? They've been out of stock. Yeah, they've been out of stock.
Yeah, it comes in all the time. So we're going to go over at the end of this real quick about what to do with BCW directly if you're ordering from us and talking to your distributors. So for example, I just got some more of these in today from GTS. So my store just received another 20 or 30 of these. You just need to put them on back order. They'll get them filled and get them to you. Next up is 1,600 carbon. These are shipping this week, last week and this week. So my store just received 2 pallets of these. These will be $44.99. They are just a 2-row. They only come with 2 dividers, but they do have a collapsible handle that goes into it, that recesses into the box. So when you have your lid shut, it's a perfectly smooth top, and then the recessed handle pulls right out. Everybody seemed to love this design. We expect to do these just as well as the 3200s, if not better. Nice thing about these, they do fit in a Kallax. We tried to get the card bin to fit into an IKEA Kallax, but that extra width we needed to make it strong and supportive just couldn't fit into that 13 inches. But this obviously will fit just fine. Stacks up just like the card bin. These come in 6-count cases, and $44.99 is the MSRP on it. But same thing, fits top loaders, magnetics as well. All right. Primex 4XL. This was a follow-up to our Primex 4 we launched a few years ago. This one features the ability to fit more commander decks in it. This holds 4 double sleeve commander decks. The dividers are removable and they slide into the side, so you can fit larger top loaders if you're doing like the larger commanders, or if you have anybody that still plays Transformers. RIP. The dice trays, it has 2 removable dice trays that pull out of it. Great product at $24.99. We brought these into my store pretty heavily. They were a little slow burn at first, but eventually people found them and really kind of dug into them and ended up buying a lot of them. So it's a great product if you've got a good commander crowd, which nowadays that seems to be most of the Magic crowd is, you know, commander dominant. So and these come in a case count of 6 for those. And those should be, I think we still have pretty good availability on those. This is the exciting one. So this is a new product we have launching later this year. We're obviously trying to target the sports market with this, but we also know that the card market has a huge interest in this. So this is our new interlocking card frame system. What this is we'll have it at the booth so you can take a look at it and kind of experiment and play with it. But it essentially is an interlocking frame system that holds top loaders or magnetics. The packs come 6-count packs. They do come with top loaders, so you can sell it to your customer right away and they can go ahead and start loading cards in it. But what it is essentially is a presentation tool. You could have it in your store for high dollar cards. You could sell it to your customers who want to display stuff in their own home. You could have the individual frame if you want to hang it, or you can do in different configurations of vertical or horizontal orientations. So this is going to be a phenomenal product. We were really excited about this one. This will be great for anybody who does Pokemon. Magic has some great stuff. I know I'm going to buy a lot of these just for my personal collection at home, just to display on a cool grid wall. We do have a graded one coming out after this one as well. So if you have a graded card community that really loves to have graded slabs, we will have one that fits all the larger graded services like PSA, BGS, CGC, HSA. All those fit into the frame. We had it engineered so they all fit in an easy way. It just has a simple back piece, so you just load the card in, snap the back piece in, and the tension holds it in place. And then we, of course, have the hanger holes cut out for which orientation you want to put it at. It has a toggle system. You simply just twist it, it locks into the other frame, and they hold together very, very sturdy. We've built some pretty elaborately large settings with it, and it's pretty cool. So instructions in the box to, you know, how every so often how you should you know, probably reinforce it with anchor points at certain points, and it also has the sizing in there so you can see where the screw holes would line up if you put a couple together, so you can mark it on your wall to hang it. So, but this is a product we're really, really excited about. This will be out later this year. They're packing it now, so we expect an arrival in June, probably a July or August release date from there. All right, custom short boxes. If you are a comic book store, we do custom short boxes. We did this for Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in New Jersey. We can do boxes for you guys. It is unfortunately not a low print run. This is something for a store that has a big customer base or wants something that could last them, you know, a year or two for product selection, but it's a great way to brand your product. Jay and Silent Bob has had to reorder this several times. People are really excited about their product having this. So it could be an investment for your store if you do comic books. We usually tell people to price these about, you know, $15.99 to $19.99 depending on your clientele and how many you want to move out of the box. They have a nice gloss finish on them, so they're a very high quality feel to it. The glue on it is very, very sturdy. I've seen some other brands that have the printed boxes, and you know, as used to carry comic books, so I know that they some of them would fall apart pretty easily. Turnaround time for this, we say about 3 to 4 months. Sometimes it's quicker. I've seen it as quick as 60 days. But we just tell people about 3 to 4 months from when you order it, when we finalize the design, to delivery is about that time frame right there. So, okay, so we're just going to go now into just kind of questions and talking about supplies in general. This is kind of gave you guys the spiel of what's coming out for BCW, but really the presentation is about just making sure you're supplying your store the right way, making sure you're making your margins and upselling all your customers. So, you know, how many lines do you carry in your store? In my stores, we carry everybody. So we don't turn anybody away, really. If they make a quality product, we carry it, and we try to carry it as deep as we can. Everybody knows boulders. Those things have been selling out for years. They're a great product. You know, obviously we had the Prism in mind to be kind of a counterpoint to it. But there's a lot of great selection of products, and I recommend carry as much as you can. Try to anticipate the needs of your customers, but also don't wait for them to ask you, because they probably won't. They'll come in and buy whatever's ubiquitous to them, whether it's a Dragon Shield or a Katana or a BCW Elite 2 sleeve. But if you present new products that are exciting, it creates a little buzz and it's an easy upsell. Usually people, they have a great deck of Magic cards. They may not change it out too much, but I guarantee they're going to change out their sleeves. And if they find a cooler deck box, they're usually going to swap it out for the next cooler deck box. So always make sure you're carrying a deep supply of that. For all the other lines, there's so much accessories. I mean, for RPGs, everybody sells dice, right? Dice are easy sells, but are you selling the dice trays with them? Are you selling them a dice bag with them? Are you selling them dry erase mats? Are you selling the markers for the dry erase mats? Are you carrying these products in your store to make sure that every sale you can add on as much as you possibly can? Because as we all know, supplies have the best margins. Your average margin for a supply is about 45 to 55%, depending on who you're buying through and how much you're buying. The good thing about the supply products is they never really go bad. I mean, we all know that a hot game is a hot game, but 6 months after it's hot, are you going to sell as many of them anymore? Probably not. You will trend down, but supplies are constant. It's something, unless you get a bad product, they will always be a great source of just income. Miniatures, anybody who does miniatures knows you got to have paints, you got to have brushes, you got to have glue. And make sure you're doing your counts on your turns on your inventory. So for us, last year we sold, I believe our numbers were about $350,000 in supplies alone. That's what we sold for our store. And this was our big store in Duluth, right outside of Atlanta. So we were turning that stuff every week. We would bring in, most of the orders were just supplies. I mean, of course we had a great board game restocks and RPG restocks, but really it was just supplies that we kept just putting out and putting out. Most of our back room is mainly supplies, right? I mean, that's all we've got back there is binders, deck boxes, sleeves, just anything as we have gaps fill into our stock levels, we just kind of push them right back out to make sure we're constantly moving through them. It's also if you can stock deep, try to go stock deep. With everything going on right now, we all know how hard it is to get product. So, I mean, if you can go a little bit deeper, stretch your wallet as much as you can on it. I recommend it as much as you can. Usually we try to order by the case quantities and multiple case quantities to make sure we have enough sufficient quantity on those. Let's see here. So margins. Once again, margins. One question I know for a lot of new people is, are you having discussions with your distributors? As a former distributor, there is a lot of leeway in pricing. So there are some companies that are locked into pricing. Companies like Alliance, for example, uses a tiered system that they stringently adhere to for the most part, where they won't let you jump the tier unless you present them with something like a huge purchase or some kind of way they can measure that you're accelerating to this point that you need to be moved up to the next tier more quickly. But they're always going to stick to the tier system. A lot of other companies, like when I worked for GTS, we can manipulate the price a little bit. But that's a little give and take relationship. You want to make sure that if you're pushing your rep, that you have a great relationship with them and that you are showing that you're dedicated to them and working with them to make sure it makes sense for them. For distributors, supplies are their best margins. Everything they make on it is a much better margin than everything else. Stuff like Magic and Pokemon, it's almost nothing. After shipping for free, shipping a case of Magic or a case of Pokemon to retailers, they're really not making any money. It's pennies that they're making. The goal is to try to get you to buy more of everything else. Hey, you need a restock of Dragon Shields. Hey, you need some more deck boxes. What can I get you that has a higher margin to make sure I'm going to make some profit on this sale? So that's a conversation you should have with your distributors, and don't be afraid to talk to them. Say, hey, I know some people are getting this pricing. I think we can push a little bit harder on this. And most of them will respond positively and will try to help you out because they want to keep you as a customer and keep you buying more. So don't ever be afraid to do that. And then mark it up. I did this presentation 2 years ago, and I'm like, well, what is everybody selling this at? For example, WizKids 2-pack of miniatures. What's the MSRP on it? $4.99. Guess what we've always been selling ours for? $5.99 forever. $5.99 forever, and we can't keep them in stock. We're making an extra, dollar on every pack we sell. Customers do not care, and we sell out through them all the time. So don't be afraid to mark it up. Chessex dice. How much are opaque Chessex dice? A 7 poly set. How much is it normally? Top of head. Anybody got it? Yep, $3.99, $4 is what it is. Our lowest price on it is $8. We don't mark it below $8, and we sell out all the time. And we have to order Chessex amounts. Our Chessex orders are usually range about $3,000 to $4,000 cost because we're just selling right through them. There's a lot of products that we carry that we can be more marked up on. It's hard to do board games. Board games are typically hard to mark up because unless it's out of print or it was a Kickstarter exclusive, you can't really go up on the price because they can just walk over to Target and Barnes & Nobles and go, oh, I'll just buy it cheaper, and it's probably on sale at some point. But you can mark up your accessories and not worry about it too much. You gotta be careful. You need to watch, your turns on it to see, did I mark it up too high? Did everything suddenly slow down or plateau? And go from there. For us, we kind of use a gauge on it of how many times in a quarter we turn a product. So if we turn it, about 4 to 5 times in a quarter, that's what we want to see. If it can be faster than that, our optimization is usually 7 or 8 on a good hot product like supplies. If it's a hot one, we want to turn it quite often, about 8 times, and it depends on that margin. We can kind of play with it a little bit. But who's familiar with Andrew Zorowitz's Foam Brain Games loot bags? Everybody's got them, right? So what's their average price for like just the plastic pack? Yeah, $9.99. So we usually mark ours up to $10.99 or $11.99 depending on what it is, and we still sell out all the time because it's just not something you can walk into any store and find. Stores in our areas, they may or may not carry it, but usually if you're only $1 off in some cases, most customers either won't realize it, won't care, or just they'll still keep purchasing from you. But you also need to have that solid offering. If you have a lot of products for them to pick from, it gives them a plethora of choices, and we always call it, critical mass. And I know some people have spoken on that in some of the seminars. Critical mass is important. If you have a lot of something, it creates more diversity of choice. If you have a very limited selection, you're gonna have more limited sales. It's weird, I know, I understand. It's like, I don't wanna go deeper on stuff. I don't wanna spend more money out of pocket, but you need to. You really need to look at it and go, what investment can I make to expand my products offerings by offering it. It's like for us, for example, we have a huge amount of board games in our store. I mean, we probably have 1,500 to 2,000 unique titles in the store. But what's our top 3 sellers? Everdell, Root, and what was the other one, Carter? Wingspan. There it was. So that's it. I mean, that's out of all the stuff we carry, and we have a lot of specialized products. We have a lot of harder to get board games. We keep a lot of the Euros in stock. We have a lot of stuff that's Kickstarter only or through connections we know of people in the industry. We have some rare board games that are, you can't just walk into any store and find. And sometimes in the state, we're the only people that have these type of titles. But they sell okay, but nothing beats Everdell, Root, or Wingspan. So just having that breadth, I mean, you can have a big selection. For us, for sleeves, our best-selling sleeves are Dragon Shields. But we carry katanas, we carry eclipses, when we can get them. And we carry a lot of other, we carry BCW Elite 2s. But our best seller is always Dragon Shields. But we offer so much wide that people appreciate it, even though they continuously purchase the same product. So make sure you're always, checking your items, and you're not afraid to go a little bit wider, and don't worry about marking up your margins. Okay, that's it for them. So. Now we'll open it up for questions. Ask me anything. BCW related questions. If you've got retailer related questions. Yes, sir.
You had mentioned about that bag. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But you talked about a miniature bag. Are you going to make it rigid?
So the rigidity, I know like Battle Foam, for example, uses a double corrugated plastic insert to do it. The problem with that is shipping. So to ship a big bag that's that empty, ooh, it's killer. So that's why their prices are so high and your margins are so poor. What's your best margin on Battle Foam for a non-licensed product? 40%, right? So there you go. And if it's a licensed product, it's usually 25 to 30% for that product. For us, because we can ship it flatter, we can keep that price down to that $69.99. And eventually when we get foam pads and a mag tray system, that we can still be able to keep this price under. Our goal is with a mag tray system, we can keep this under $149.99 with the mag trays. With foam in it, we're gonna try to keep it at $99.99 for a bag this size that holds a lot of foam. It's pretty good. So
does it flatten out?
It does go like when you completely, it ships like completely flat. Yeah, it'll ship flat bagged. Yeah, correct. It'll ship in a poly bag flat with a UPC barcode on it. This will also have a tag on it that you can put your own label on it if you need to. Sure. And we'll have this at the booth too, so if anybody wants to look at this at the booth, you can come by and play with it and take a look at it. Yes, sir. I can't remember off the top of my head. I do have the notes in my system, but we can certainly give it to you. I know it holds 6 normal-sized board games, like the standard 12 by 12 board game boxes. So like Ticket to Ride size or whatever, or Wingspan size. It holds about 6 of those. So yes, sir.
Give me all the info on ordering direct to BCW.
Yes. So let's talk about direct ordering with us. So if you haven't worked with BCW before, we do offer direct services to you guys. So we have 2 shipping tiers based on what you're ordering in that. If you're ordering gaming supply products, when you log into our website, you will see a green key item on the item if it's a gaming item. The shipping threshold for that for free freight is only $500. So if you order a lot of Prisms, free freight. If you get a couple cases, you should get up to that free freight threshold. If you need cardboard, if you need top loaders, if you need anything heavy, it's $1,000 of product to get free freight for that in the continental US. We will palletize it. We will ship it out to you.
What if there's like 500 top loaders?
As long as it equals $1,000,
The total, does it have to be $1,000?
what I would recommend in that case is create 2 orders. I would do like a $500 gaming order, and then you can put a separate order in for other supplies and build it up over time to get to that $1,000 threshold if you need it for like.
So 1,000 has to be just that kind of supply?
1,000 is just everything together. It's just $1,000 total product cost, but that's for stuff that is not gaming specific items, like cardboard, top loaders. So.
If you unlock 1 tier of free shipping, you get free shipping.
Right.
If you order $500 worth of gaming supplies, then you get free shipping, even if you add on comic backing boards, corrugated product, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't break it off. We don't just ship just the gaming.
Right.
Separate shipment for everything else.
Right.
So if you put in a $500 order of all gaming related items and add $200 of corrugate on top of it, you have a $700 order. That order ships for free.
Okay.
It's 300 below the 1,000, but you unlock free shipping at a minimum of 500 of gaming or $1,000. So if you don't hit 500 in gaming, let's say you hit $300 in gaming product, $300 worth of Prism deck boxes, and you order $400 worth of corrugate, your order is not shipping for free.
It's got it. Yeah. It's a weird little.
Free shipping on that, or 200 short on gaming.
Right. I just.
Yeah.
I just tell people $1,000 for get to that threshold to make sure you're shipping out for free. I tell if you're afraid you can't get to a $1,000 threshold, talk to other stores in your area. We do that a lot where we have a lot of stores who go in together on an order, and they will split it once one of them gets it. So that happens quite a bit.
I'm just here helping point out the hand.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. And I'll continue on with the direct real quick. So for direct, it's really easy. You go to our website. You'll submit a quick form. We'll get you guys signed up. You'll see your pricing online. BCWSupplies.com. And I have business cards up here if anybody needs it, so you can email me and also get on the website. Nancy Bush is our liaison for retailers, so when you get signed in, if you need help, Nancy will be your point of contact. But you can always email me and I'll forward it to Nancy, and we'll work together to help you guys out. I'm the point of contact for new products, but also custom stamping products. We don't advertise it at the moment because we're still working out some kinks, but we did offer some custom stamping products on our DVLX deck boxes. We hope to offer that again soon, but at the moment, we're not taking any new ones for that. We are just servicing existing customers, so that'll be something in the future. But we also offer terms, so if you qualify for terms, you can submit a credit. We give net 30, net 45 days for terms, payments, credit card, check, stuff like that, pretty easy. For orders, if you're ordering through us, what I highly recommend is if something's in stock, order it, and if you can get it to the free threshold, get it out. If it's not available, put it on a back order. I'm telling people, we have dates on our website that usually gives out a specific date because our system doesn't allow us to do a nebulous date like Q3 or November or whatever. We can't just say that month. We have to give a specific date. That date is what we believe we will have it in stock available for you to purchase just normally. Like you log in the website, oh, they have quantities, I'll purchase it, and there you go. But if you put in a back order, usually the order will be fulfilled within 2 to 3 months on average. If you're like, hey, I need top loaders, hey, I need card bins, I need this product, and you're out of it, just put it in a back order, and then we will, it'll sit in the system, and Nancy will contact you when it's available. And if there's additional items that are not available, or you can add on to get it to a free threshold, she will work with you on that. So I can't tell you enough, just put a back order in. It's what I do for my store all the time. I just I know we're not getting it for a couple months, but put the back order in. Nancy will hit me up and say, hey, it's coming in. I'm gonna get it out for you guys next week. Great, cool. So just keep doing that. Also talk to your distributors. If you don't wanna order through us directly, if you're dealing with GTS, PhD, or ACD, just say, hey, I need these items. They will send us the order and we will fulfill them. We try to prioritize our distributor partners first as much as we can to make sure that they're getting the product to get it to you guys. But we take our orders in order date first. So we take it, whoever ordered it first in, first out. So if you're the first person in, we're gonna try to get your order out the first before somebody else's if possible. So, has anybody had another question? I saw some questions. Yes, ma'am.
What's the conference code?
Oh, yes, for the conference code. So the conference code for today is 8373. And so we talked about some products today. We've got, obviously, the board game bag came in. We are also working on a really lovely dice bag. This is our prototype that's pretty much done. This will also be available at the booth. We have a few other odds and ends to show you guys. But we do have a lot of stuff in the pipeline that we are trying to work on to make sure that we're fleshing out a good selection of gaming products for you guys that you can easily stock on your shelves. All those will have the Spectrum branding with a BCW backup, but we will have a lot of these things inside. The dice bag right here I'm holding, this will retail for $9.99. So it'll come in about 4 colors initially, and then we will offer additional colors probably in the future as well on this. So you can come by the booth tomorrow, check this out, or Thursday, play with it a little bit, and check out some of the other items we have as well. Do you have any other questions? Yes, sir, in the back.
Yeah, can you put out with a game bag that's actually carry-on size?
Yeah, God, yeah. Well, then what board games can you fit on there, right? That'd have to be like this big. Yeah. Unfortunately, the carry-on thing, I've talked about that before and thought about it. It's just, it would limit you to such a small size that you could carry maybe 2-3 games at most. So, yes, ma'am.
Do you know what the weight limit is on the board game bag?
I don't know if we tested this on the weight limit on this. I mean, we tested it full with 6 games. And not a problem, but we haven't done a stress test to see like, oh, at 200 pounds it's just going to fail. So have you done one?
I play flesh and blood, sorry, but I have 2 3200 count card bins completely full. Now, if you can imagine what 2 4-row plastic boxes feels like, completely full, you can.
It's about 30 pounds.
I have carried that around.
It's about 60 pounds.
75, 80 pounds.
Is that much?
And there was no problem. And I carried it by the D-ring strap. I carried it by the handle. No problem whatsoever, other than the fact that my weak little arms strained and struggled. And that's it.
Yeah, there's a lot of double stitching and cross stitching on these. It's heavy nylon. The bag's a heavy nylon, so it's pretty strong. The straps go all the way down through the back of this. On both sides, so it's got stitching at the top and down here towards the bottom on the underside. So it's pretty reinforced. So I mean, I don't know. I can't say for certain what a weight limit would be on that, but it's pretty strong. So if you're carrying more than 80 or 90 pounds of board games, it's disconcerting. So yes, sir.
Any plans for increasing throughput in cardboard?
Yes. So cardboard. Paper and cardboard products like we cut our own cardboard in-house in Indiana. We also cut our own backing boards for comics, and we bag them and pack them. Problem is, just like everybody else, we outsource a lot of our raw materials from China, and everything's gone up, and everything is hard to get. So we're catching up. We have been shipping a lot more cardboard lately. We had an issue with one of our machines that had a wheel issue that we had to repair, and in this day and age, usually take a couple days to fix it and continue production. But with everything going on, it's difficult to get parts for certain machines right now. We also relocated our facility. We moved a few miles away from our older facility into a much larger facility, and during that time period, production had to be disassembled, moved, and reassembled in the new facility. So we have a lot of machines to move, we have a lot of things to calibrate after the move, and that was a 3 to 4 month process that took a little while and a little longer than we hoped to, but we're now getting fully set up and getting everything turned back on and trying to increase production and capacity as much as we possibly can. But once again, if you're having issues getting product, put a back order in, talk to your distributor rep, 3 of the big 5, ask them, hey, I need this product, get it on order. It's not gonna be immediate in most cases, but within a couple months, you're probably gonna get a message saying, hey, we're ready to ship, are you ready for it? So, sir, we got a question? Yep, sorry, yes.
Had a customer ask about this, and I just haven't gotten around to looking into it. Do you guys have sleeves that can go over graded cards? Is this some kind of plastic sleeve or what have you to protect them?
No, we have a bag for that, but we don't have a sleeve for it, unfortunately. We discussed that internally, and we just didn't, unfortunately, have enough demand to warrant creating the polypropylene bags or polyethylene bags to coat it. It's something we're still looking at, and if we get enough people asking about it and the quantities needed to produce it, we certainly will.
Okay,
So.
well, be asking for it.
Okay. Well, I'll give you my card, and you can email me, and if you got a quantity in mind, we can certainly talk about it. That's also, too, we do a lot of custom work. If you guys are looking for a specific bag type, if you're looking for a specific item, we will make it. Usually requires a high MOQ, but if that works for you, we can work on a project with it. And if it's something that we think we can sell to the market at large, we will also consider making it as well. Yes, ma'am, again. But we did. So when I was first hired on for BCW, that was one of our initial look at was looking at the box bands for board games. Unfortunately, after getting some sales data for it from various manufacturers and distributors, the volume on it's just too low for us to consider making it an item that we could stock regularly just because they don't sell as fast. A lot of people have issues with them. Either they warp the box, I can't stack my boxes with them. What's the best way to manufacture them? So unfortunately, until we get a bigger demand for it, or we've got somebody who comes to the table saying, hey, we need these made for us and we'll order a lot, then we can offer some additionally. At the moment, it just doesn't make sense for us at the moment. So. Yes, ma'am. It's tough. Hey, I have some for my stuff at home. I've definitely used them for travel, but it's just one of those things that are, there's the various sizes too. The manufacturers keep changing their sizes. There's the ubiquitous, 12 by 12, like most games are made in, but then you got small boxes. You got the bigger coffin size ones still being made, and you've got a lot of different variances. Yes, sir. You got a question?
Yeah, for ordering direct, is there different thresholds than we would have from ordering from our distributors? Is the pricing different?
No, but unlike distributors, we will not charge you for freight. So when I worked for GTS, we had a shipping threshold where your boxes couldn't exceed a certain percentage of your order, and you could still get free freight. Usually the percentage was sales-wise, you couldn't exceed more than 15% of your total sales order, and you could get free freight. So for example, if you had a $500 order, but you only ordered $50 of cardboard, that would probably ship for free with GTS. But that changed over time as shipping costs have drastically increased. The need for cardboard shipping is much different. Now you gotta remember, distributors don't ship a lot of palletized items. When they do, but they don't do it the level we do it at. So our cost for palletization and truck shipping is much better than most distributors. So we can do it and still make it affordable for you guys to get the product, but it does require a higher threshold to get to that amount. So like I said, it's one of those things where if you need a lot of cardboard's cheap. But if you need a lot of it, talk to somebody else in the area, a competitor, try to make friends with them, say, hey, you need some cardboard too, slap an order together, and then get it shipped out. Yes, sir?
What if you choose not to want palletized freight because it is impossible to get into my store?
Right, so that's a sticky situation. We would have to have a conversation about that because UPS and FedEx freight to ship out that much big stuff, at that point it makes no fiscal sense for us. So most of the time we have to have it palletized for that reason. My store, for example, they can sometimes bring it into our store, but most of the time they just have a gate lift, drop it right next to it, and we unload it into the store and then break the pallet up. So
We're in a mall and they don't allow
pallets in the store, right? And you don't have a back entranceway. They don't have the back loading dock area or anything like that. Let me give you a card, and you can talk to me, and I will talk to our.
Now, if they had like the bigger rubber wheels instead of like
Right.
regular pallet jack wheels, then it would be no problem.
Right. Yeah, that's a unique situation. It just depends. Most of the time, if you're getting gaming items, we do like parcel ship that out, so that would come UPS or FedEx. But once we get into larger, bulkier items, large tubes, cardboard, anything that has a high dimensional volume, that's where it has to get palletized just for costs. So, because UPS, remember, UPS and FedEx charge by volume, not just weight.
I've solved this problem before.
Did you?
One thing you can look at, if you don't have access.
Did anybody else have any questions? No other questions? That's it? Nothing? That's about, oh, right here. Yes, sir.
How do I work this? Are you guys ever considering doing like store focused things? Like,
Yeah, so we actually, we don't have any programs in place yet for store-specific point-of-sale systems or, point-of-purchase materials for you guys yet. We're trying to work on it. It's a cost efficiency type thing, situation. These things cost a lot to develop. It's usually hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's, what's the cost benefit of you getting this versus us putting it out there and the cost to initially invest in it. We're looking at it. We're trying to. We do offer something like Rick does the Spotlight series that we go around and travel to different stores. Rick will go to your store, do an interview with you, feature your store, and then kind of walk around and go from there. So that's an option you can talk to Rick about. We're still working out that system. He's done about a couple dozen stores now. So something we can do for free advertisement, but for point of purchase materials, right now we don't have a whole lot in the pipe. So for the Spotlight series,
What about it?
just mention it briefly.
I
So,
do spotlight videos on YouTube.
yeah.
I want to tell you guys about it real quick.
All right.
This is my initiative. This is me trying to get customers to come back to the
Sorry?
store.
I ask because we're constantly
Stop
buying like
ordering online.
pack dispensers and stuff.
I
Yeah.
go to the store.
Yeah, it doesn't work as well.
Yeah, the pack dispensers, I know like Ultra Pro and Ultimate Guard make theirs, and Ultra Pro does special order only on those because acrylic's so expensive too that, that's one of those situations where it's a break even for them or even a loss just to kind of supply them. So,
I got a buddy of mine who just,
They're about 20 minutes
we used to have a laser cutter,
yeah,
but it only runs XP.
yeah.
So we gave it to somebody.
Yeah.
He's finally getting it started up. So now we're trying to get him to make a quarter
Yeah.
version.
Yeah, the acrylic sheets themselves, we have a buddy that does it too, and they're only $13 for like a 2 foot by 3 foot or 3 by 4 sheet, but the cutting and applying is difficult, so. Yeah, all right. Anybody got any other questions? Distributor questions, retailer questions? If you want, come by our booth. We're at 433. Come yak with me about anything. Said I've done it all. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is there any way I can get a sample?